Hello again, and welcome to this Transactions and Investments module, in which we'll explore the flexibility that Panorama offers in relation to the listed securities component of your client portfolios. We'll look at the listed security holding types allowed with Panorama and the key differences between them, how and when you can select the appropriate listed security holding type for your clients, trading through an approved external broker, and how you can participate in initial public offerings or IPOs for your clients where you have a firm allocation from a broker. And just a note from the outset, listed securities are not available on Panorama Compact. Panorama presents you with market-leading flexibility to choose between three different holding types for clients invested in listed securities. Those being nominee, individual custodial HIN, and individual sponsored HIN. Note that sponsored HIN holding types are available only for Panorama Investments accounts. Let's briefly consider these three holding options before going into the key differences a bit deeper. The nominee option is the default and allows your Panorama clients to hold listed securities where the administrator has appointed a sub-custodian to hold the listed securities on trust on the administrator's behalf. The administrator, in turn, holds the beneficial interest in those listed securities for your client. The custodial holder identification number, or HIN option, is where the administrator will hold the listed securities on behalf of your client under an individual HIN in the name of the custodian, BT Portfolio Services Limited. This option is only available for your Australian resident clients who have provided Panorama with a valid tax file number or a valid exemption reason. The sponsored HIN option allows your Panorama Investments clients to hold listed securities in their own name under an individual HIN structure, with your client retaining direct ownership at the share registry. For this option, your Panorama Investments account client must also agree to be sponsored on CHESS by the administrator. This option will only be available if you are an Australian resident and have an Australian residential and postal address. We must highlight that direct listed securities can only be held under one security holding type on Panorama. However, note that any listed securities that are part of a managed or tailored portfolio will be held in the nominee custody arrangement. It's important to understand the key differences in Panorama's listed security options to ensure you can align with the needs of your clients. In the first instance, let's look at legal and beneficial ownership of the securities. In the case of the nominee option, the listed securities are held in the legal name of our sub-custodian. The client is the beneficial owner of these investments as recorded by the custodian, BT Portfolio Services Limited. For the custodial HIN option, the listed securities are legally held under an individual HIN in the name of the custodian, BT Portfolio Services Limited. Again, the client is the beneficial owner of these investments, and your client's account name is listed in the account designation field of the CHESS registration details. For the sponsored HIN option for your Panorama Investments clients, here the client holds the securities directly with the share registry as both the legal and beneficial owner. And for this holding option, the client must agree to be sponsored for CHESS purposes by BT Portfolio Services Limited as the ASX settlement participant. In relation to corporate actions, for the nominee and custodial HIN options, the administrator will receive these communications from the share registry. You'll be alerted to upcoming voluntary events on your Panorama Corporate Actions page, and from here you can make online elections on behalf of these clients. For the sponsored HIN option, the share registry will deal directly with your clients, and your clients will be responsible for any communications in relation to corporate actions. An exception applies for those corporate actions that can be accepted via CHESS message. For example, takeovers and buybacks. These will be available for election on your Panorama Advisor site, as BT Portfolio Services Limited has the ability to receive your election and send the CHESS message for acceptance of these as the sponsoring participant. Proxy voting rights may be important for some of your clients, and it is only the sponsored HIN option for your Panorama Investments clients that allows the exercising of any voting rights as a direct holder of the securities. For the other options of nominee holding type and custodial HIN, BT Portfolio Services Limited has the voting rights and will only exercise these if it asks for and receives instructions from the client, which it generally does not do. For dividends and distributions paid from listed securities, the nominee holding type and custodial HIN options will see these paid into the client's Panorama transaction or cash account. However, for your sponsored HIN clients, they can elect to have any dividends and distributions deposited into an external bank account or deposited into their Panorama transaction or cash account. When you make the first buy for a client, BT will send the client's tax file number and Panorama cash account details to the registry, where the registry accepts CHESS messages to update these details. The election to deposit dividends to an external bank account will need to be updated directly with the registry, if the client chooses that option. There are also differences in relation to participating in dividend reinvestment plans. For the nominee option, stock-by-stock dividend reinvestment is available, where offered, for your Panorama Investments clients only. This can be selected in the investment orders screen when placing the trade, and also at any stage from the client's portfolio valuation screen. Dividend reinvestment plans are not available for clients holding their listed securities under the custodial HIN method in investment and super, or under the nominee option in Panorama Super. And for your Panorama Investments clients using the sponsored HIN option, they can receive dividends as a reinvestment plan if that option is offered, and will receive a form from the relevant share registry requesting this decision, or they can often update this online at the share registry website. In relation to initial public offerings or IPOs, the general participation in these is not supported on Panorama under the nominee or custodial HIN options. However, general IPO participation is available for your sponsored HIN clients, who would deal and participate directly with the issuer. Broker firm IPO participation is available for each listed security holding option, and we'll consider this in more detail in a moment. In relation to fees, only the custodial HIN option in investment and super attracts an administration fee, that being $300 per annum, charged monthly where listed security assets are held on the custodial HIN within the month. As mentioned, Panorama offers market-leading flexibility when it comes to the way listed securities are held, helping you to closely align with the needs of your clients. You can select the listed security holding method for your clients at the time of onboarding to Panorama, and also change it down the track if required. When onboarding new clients, you'll see the listed securities holding type as part of the Account Settings section. Panorama Investments accounts will present the 3 holding options to choose from, and just the 2 options for superannuation accounts, with no sponsored HIN available. For your existing clients, changes to the holding type can easily be made down the track. For your clients not currently holding listed securities, you can change the holding method from the default, that being nominee, to custodial HIN and also to a sponsored HIN for Panorama Investments accounts via the Additional Services page within Account Details. Here you can obtain your client's consent via an offline method or online using Panorama's digital consent functionality. Note that if your client already has a HIN with a broker or on another platform, you can transfer the HIN and all assets held on that HIN to their Panorama account. To do this, complete a Release Authorization form. noting that a HIN transfer is only available for Panorama Investments clients that have a sponsored HIN with another broker. The completed and signed release authorisation form should be emailed to Panorama. To change the holding type to sponsored HIN or custodial HIN for your clients already holding listed securities, you'll be directed to download this form for completion before emailing to the Panorama support team for processing. Occasionally, changes may need to be made to the name of a client account or the client's address. As outlined in Help and Support, an address change for your clients with a sponsored HIN can be amended online or by downloading the Change of Address on CHESS registration form, have it completed and signed by the client, and then return to the Panorama support team for processing. In the case of a change of name on the account, this form can be used for clients using the sponsored HIN and custodial HIN methods. Again, simply complete and send the signed form to the Panorama support team for processing. BT Panorama provides you with the flexibility to facilitate settlement of trades to a client account where the trade is executed through an approved external broker. You'll find the list of currently approved brokers in Help and Support under Managing Your Clients, Investment Orders, and then Trading through an external broker. Here you can also download the Advisor Guide for trading listed securities via an external broker. This explains your role and the broker's role through the process. Your main role in the process will be ensuring the client has available cash to fund the asset purchase and that the asset is approved for a buy on Panorama. And for asset sales, checking that they have sufficient holdings for the sale. You'll also need to monitor the order status screen to view settled trades and of course keep alert for email notifications advising failed trades. Your approved broker will have the role of placing the trade on the market and then ensuring the trade file is sent to BT via Secure File Transfer Protocol before 4 p.m. on T+1. Full details on this process are included in the External Broker Registration Form and Terms and Conditions. Your broker will need to know which holding option your client has to ensure they direct settlement to the correct settlement participant. Your broker will settle the trade to either BT Portfolio Services Participant Identification Number or PID 21044 for clients with an individual HIN, or to BT's Custodian's Participant Identification Number for clients that hold assets under the nominee structure. These numbers can be found in Help and Support. The broker may also receive email alerts for failed trades, including the reason for the failure. In these instances, the broker must rectify the issue and resubmit the trade by submitting a new file to Panorama by 4 p.m. on T+1. If they need further assistance, they'll contact the Panorama support team for guidance. If the trades are cancelled or amended by the broker, they'll need to contact the Panorama support team to inform us of the change. In the case of an amending trade, they'll also submit a new trade file to Panorama by 4 p.m. on T+1 with the details of the corrected trade. Please note with broker trades, if there are insufficient funds in the client's Panorama cash account to settle a buy order, or the client does not hold enough units to fund the sell, the trade will not be settled. In this event, the client may be charged a settlement failure fee by the broker. Clients may wish to participate in an IPO or an initial public offering when a company seeking capital floats shares to the public for the first time. IPOs are generally undertaken by smaller companies looking to expand or by large privately owned companies who want to become publicly traded. It will depend on how your clients hold listed securities on Panorama as to whether they can participate in IPOs and how they would do this. For general participation in an IPO, this is only possible for your Panorama Investments account clients with a sponsored HIN, and they'll deal directly with the issuer of the IPO for participation. However, for IPOs where your client has obtained a broker firm allocation for participation in an IPO, Panorama will generally be able to facilitate this, irrespective of your client's listed security holding method. Download from Help and Support our advisor guide for broker firm IPO participation, which outlines the steps you and the broker should follow. You'll initially speak with the broker about the relevant IPO, and they'll provide you with participation instructions, which includes an IPO allocation card, Panorama cut-off date, and IPO spreadsheet. The broker will also email Panorama about the upcoming IPO. Panorama Investments accounts can facilitate all IPOs. However, for your Panorama super clients, the trustee will assess each IPO when notified by the broker and confirm if that IPO can be facilitated. You'll complete the IPO spreadsheet with client details and the allocation amount before sending to Panorama via email. We'll confirm receipt of the spreadsheet with you via email, including notes about ensuring the client has available cash. The stock will be approved for super clients and the relevant cut-off date, which will be earlier than the date if they'd applied directly. Once the spreadsheet has been received and confirmed, we'll also reserve cash for the upcoming IPO, with the order displayed on the Panorama order status report as in progress. If there is any cancellation or amendment to be made prior to the Panorama cut-off date, the broker should email the Panorama support team with details of the changes. The broker will ultimately settle the IPO with the delivery versus payment or DVP method to either the BT Portfolio Services PID number for individual HIN clients or to the custodian's PID number for nominee clients. When settlement instructions have been sent to Panorama, the order status report will show the IPO as completed. Initially, the stock will display on Panorama as the IPO stock code, but will convert to the ASX trading code when the listing date is reached. To assist you with listed security holding methods, trading using external brokers, and for IPO participation, you can access information in the Help and Support section of your advisor site. Here, in managing your clients and transactions and investments, access further help, including the advisor guides under Investment Orders and Listed Securities. Well, that brings this module to a close, and we've considered the flexibility Panorama provides for clients with the different ways they can hold listed securities. We also looked at how you can trade in listed securities via an approved external broker, as well as how to trade in IPOs for your Panorama clients. Thanks again, and bye for now.